Welcome to Smells Like Potential, the rewatch podcast you didn't know you needed. Michelle and Henry come for a visit with Dr. Jake in tow. Nate tries to create his own version of the Diamond Dogs. Hackers leak very personal photos and videos, causing some tensed moments. And we learn why Ted and Michelle will never have Paris.
We also see that Rupert is a Windows user, of course. So there was once a time when Microsoft was known as the Empire or the Evil Empire. So there's our Star Wars connection, straight out of
Oh
the gate.
no. Is it because of the windows?
I think, yes, I think well said. I like that.
This was a rough episode for several of our characters. We see instances of victim blaming between Jack, between the team. Well, they shouldn't have taken those photos and videos. Those are really hard conversations to hear happening, that personal items that are stolen are somehow your fault for existing.
Given the nature of Keeley's character and her modeling career, it seems like they've got an opportunity here to have it impact someone that the team all knows.
When looking for reassurance from Rebecca, she said, "Let's restructure society so women aren't constantly sexualized while simultaneously being crucified for being sexual."
She said, on it, which I appreciated as a supportive friend.
Absolutely. The team was going back and forth about whether or not to look at these videos and photos that were leaked online. They had this conversation about copyright protection, who owns the photos. And then when one of the players realized that it was Keeley whose video was posted, suddenly it mattered that there should be privacy.
Sam called it out. He said, "Hey, wait, guys! One of the names that was leaked is Keeley." And then you could see it. The whole temperature of the room changed, the whole demeanor, and they all rethought what they had been saying moments ago. I thought it was a tremendously well dramatized version of it only matters when it happens to you or someone you know. Suddenly, boom, it's different. So Danny steps up. He's like, "We should do what's right, like in Les Miserables." So there's our musical theater reference of the episode. But we also find out that Sam, in addition to Jamie, both make a habit of when a relationship ends, they either themselves delete the photos and videos, or Sam takes an extra step. He gives his phone to the person and asks them to delete whatever they'd like. And we get a chuckle because someone deleted Candy Crush, which was devastating, but he understood why.
We get to see Jamie taking accountability again in this moment. So not only acknowledging that he deletes photos, but because he forgot to delete them all, he goes and apologizes, which is amazing. We see another instance of Jamie growing and taking that accountability.
He's learning and growing now. I think his partnership with Roy really helps. I think that his leadership role on the team that we've seen in the last few episodes, I think, has also really helped him step up in many ways in his life.
Right. I saw a theme about who has your back when it gets rough, who the characters are turning to
Yeah.
when they need that support. We see Isaac demanding that the team delete all of their photos to protect not only themselves, but the people who are in those photos. But when Colin has to step away to privately delete his photos, Isaac doesn't seem as supportive in that.
Yeah. He seems angry. He seems disappointed in some ways. We get this figured out in a later episode, so not to totally spoil it, but it's easy to see why Colin, looking at that reaction, would think, oh, he's a bigot, or he doesn't like me now, or he's changed his opinion of me. It's easy to misread potentially that walking away.
Right. I remember the first time that I watched it, I thought for sure it was an ex-girlfriend in there. Look at me being all innocent on why he's upset with Colin.
I hadn't considered that, but yeah, that would upset me too. I think if I didn't know that a friend of mine was dating or had dated my ex, that would be upsetting.
Right? And then we see Keely running to Rebecca for support. Rebecca is so amazing in this moment. She asks all the right questions. How can I help? Rebecca tries to find the positive, and she said, "Look at all the women that you're going to support. They're going to understand their bodies better." And I thought that is a positive twist on a very bad situation.
Yes, The height of the optimist right there.
right? And Jack started out supportive. I will help you with this. Breathe, calm down. Then lawyers got involved.
Yeah. She didn't quite understand what was wrong with the message. She thought it was just the wording or the word choice or the legalistic aspect of it. She didn't understand that the core message of apologizing for something that Keeley didn't think was wrong was going to be the issue. And
Victim blaming,
victim blaming again.
right? I agree with Keeley about not apologizing for something that should not have been taken from her in the first place.
Right. I really loved the song choice for Beard's moment with Henry, who's struggling through his parents' divorce. And what song do they play but Hey Jude by the Beatles, who Henry likes because Ted likes them. And it's a perfect fit. It's such a perfect song choice. Beard tells the story of Paul McCartney and Julian Lennon. And without having to get into the details or nerd about it, he just says, yeah, Jude was a little boy and Jude's dad's best friend wrote a song that might help him in the future. It's just such a nice, simple way to communicate that to a child going through a similar experience, that he learns something about a song and a band he loves that actually is relevant to his life in that moment. Ted gets back just before the end of the song, but you could see Beard and Henry, and even over the phone, Rebecca, are like, Ted, get back over there. This is the song you should be there for your son.
Right?
So I love that.
I'm here for a nerd out on the Beatles anytime.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
would the song be the same if it stayed Hey Jules?
I think phonetically, it's just easier to sing with a nice hard Jude at the end. I was thinking about this as I was watching the episode too. I think it's also something that was helpful for Julian, right? He didn't have to grow up being named after a song in many people's minds. So he knew that it was about him. He knew that Paul wrote it for him. And that's all that matters. So I think it's actually a nice dodge to subtly protect a child as they're growing up. Fun fact, I actually taught the Beatles when I taught English. I taught a whole unit on Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band.
I did not know this.
Yeah, I used it as literature. I forget what I swapped out, but it was so much better than what was in there.
Did you do an analysis on the album cover?
We looked at that. We didn't do an analysis, but I did have them try to find a through line that made sense to them for the album, because it was one of the early sort of concept albums as an ending project. They could propose a song that they thought fit in on the album, like thematically, musically. And if they wanted to, they could write the song and perform it. But I didn't expect that I'd have a Beatle in my classroom. So it was just a great unit that I did with my students. And I think they appreciated something different. I loved it because it was right after Anthology had come out. So it was a great
Mhm.
thing for me to share my passion for something, just like Hall was talking about on yesterday's episode, that when a teacher opens up, it helps the students connect. Even if they don't like the Beatles or don't even know what the Beatles are, they know that I like them, and that matters.
I'm about ready to go get my book of lyrics to find out what did they mean by the movement you need is on your shoulder.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a different whole episode. We could dive into that one, but I do like the use of the term movement. It was a deliberate choice instead of moment. Everyone thought it was a mistaken line, and it was he meant to say moment you need is on your shoulders. But movement, I think, encourages the idea of community. So I that's the way I tend to land on that particular line. Discuss that in class too.
Oh, nice. Well, I hate to end our Beatles rundown here.
It's okay. We have to move on. That long and winding road does have an end.
Exactly. We see that Trent is officially a diamond dog,
Woohoo! Woo, 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 woo,
or
woo.
as he says, woof. He's no longer an impartial observer. Has he lost his journalistic objectivity?
I think he's participating because I think he learns so much more when he does. He's recognized that Ted is a relational leader. You can't study a relational leader without having a relationship with that leader. I think he's a diamond dog, and it's a natural next step for his research. I do think it annoyed Roy that Trent welcomed it and joined right away, and he still is resisting.
Even though he listens and participates.
Yes, from a distance. That's it. That's all he said. Yeah,
Trent has a great wit and wisdom line, stole it from Higgins. He
right.
says, You can't worry about something that hasn't happened yet.
Yep.
Has
And
he met my brain?
it's very similar to the advice Rebecca gives Ted as well. Usually it's Higgins who has the last word of the Diamond Dogs, and then they disband. By the way, he disbanded. They don't dismount. I think he
I saw that
realized,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think he realized you don't say that about dogs. You say that about horses, unless they're really big dogs. Yeah. Usually it's Higgins with the last deepest wisdom, but this time it's Trent on his first outing as a Diamond Dog. So I think he's got promise. I also liked, in terms of having someone's back, even though he's the villain, even though we're frustrated by his actions, I'm so happy that Nate and has found Jade, and Jade is really helping him. She catches him smiling. She encourages him to celebrate a win. And I think she's good for him. She even calls out the relationship with Ted when he's looking at a picture of Ted in the stands cheering for his team. She says, "You should celebrate." Clearly, they had fun. And that's a nice way to poke at that gently to get him to chuckle. I also really liked May. May is observing an awkward conversation between Ted, his ex wife, Michelle, and therapist Jake. And so Henry, she gets over to the Wizard of Oz pinball machine and calls him Prince Henry. And I like that affectation. And then Ted had clearly asked her before, "Hey, is there some way you can give me unlimited play on this?" And she said, "No, that's impossible," to him in some previous time. But for Prince Henry, nothing's impossible. I feel like that carries a lot of weight. She's all about the team and winning.
Mhm.
So I think it probably is focused on that. But I think it has more meaning to him beyond that. Nothing's impossible.
Maybe it's a hint about what's gonna come towards the season end.
Yeah.
It's the hope that kills you, right?
Yes.
Rebecca had a really nice quote to Ted, trying to encourage him to go back and enjoy his son. And she said, "You need to stop letting yesterday get in the way of today." And
Fabulous.
I Rebecca finding Kiselig has made her a wisdom dispenser.
Yes. It's clear she's had some great transition, I think, moving away from the anger and hatred.
Oh, there's the Star Wars reference again.
Yes, it's not the way of the Jedi.
Did you see Nate's little smile when Henry was yelling at him from the stands and they all waved at him?
I looked for it, but I think I missed it. I just saw his confusion, but there was a smirk, I think, of some kind.
I feel like that was the moment where he allowed himself to go, maybe I haven't messed up. It wasn't great, but there might be a chance. Ted doesn't hate me, or
Right.
else why would he be here? He had to steel himself to get back into his evil persona again. But I saw a crack. And
Yeah.
like you said, Jade reinforced that crack by saying, "Look, he's celebrating your victory too."
And he remembers his persona and he turns around and yeah.
Somebody else messed up big time in this episode.
Oh yeah. That's the wrong thing to say, Roy.
Oh, I know. I think on this most recent rewatch, I literally texted you and said, "I finally understand why they're never going to get back together." You knew exactly what moment I was talking about.
Yeah.
Um, Roy making the video about him was such gross behavior, and I don't know that Keely will ever forget that instead of giving her solace and saying, "Is there anything I can do for you? I'm so sorry," he had to go, "Who is it for?"
Yeah.
Ew.
It puts them at the same level of the people that are looking at these videos, the people that stole these videos, the people that posted them. He's right in there because he's like, "Oh, tell me more. I want to know the dirt." And yes, you're right. I'm sure he was trying to gently understand if it was for him or not. But it's a weird thing because wouldn't you know, Roy?
No, she would have sent it to you. Right.
So it's really it's an owned goal to stay in the soccer parlance.
Well, and Jack asked, "Is there more out there?"
Yeah,
So, also in that realm of stop making it about you.
right.
Keely has been violated in such a terrible way. And she says, "I know there are pictures of me out there, but that was my choice. This is an absolute violation of my privacy." So, to have somebody that she thought had her back, like Roy, say, "Who is it for?" It
Yeah.
was just, oh, yeah, nope, they're never getting back together.
Yep. Delane, were there any books in this episode?
There were. Ted was reading to Henry, and that book is The Breakfast Club Adventures: The Beast Beyond the Fence by Marcus Rashford. Yes, that Marcus Rashford, MBE, former and current Manchester United football player, as well as England. So he was in the World Cup. I think it's funny. His next Breakfast Club Adventures book is going to be released in October, and it's called The Haunted Disco. And
Okay.
what's the name of Nate's
Assistant coach,
assistant coach?
and he's haunted. Dun dun dun.
So I thought that was really cool. They found a children's author that happens to be a current football player.
Fantastic. Deep dive. Well done.
And this is a rough book club connection. However, I have to mention Dave Grohl's memoir, The Storyteller: Tales of Life and Music. And Dave tells the story about how he learned how to play the drums.
So that's how Ted and Michelle both know. Aha. I love it.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you tomorrow for our reaction to season 3, episode 9, The Locker Room Afal. Is that how you say it? I'm not sure. And our outro quote, you know what? Now might be a good time to let you know that Dave Grohl learned to play drums on pillows. We don't have to tell your mom that, though, right away.